If you have ever watched a Marrow video and forgotten everything the next day, this will feel illegal. After I learned this one technique, I could recall those videos months later. Details, examples, and everything. I am Ogniv Roy Chaudhary, a third year MBBS student from ESIC Joka, and I'm documenting my journey to getting All India Rank 1 in NEET PG and INI-CET in 2029. I was the college topper in first year, but back then my Marrow Q-bank accuracy was average. After applying this method, my Q-bank accuracy shot to more than 80%. And more importantly, I still remember those concepts half a year later. In this video, I am going to show why you forget Marrow videos so fast and the exact method that I use to fix it and a live demonstration so you can apply the technique today. So before I start, let me tell you a story. This was back in the start of second year and I had just started my NEET PG and INI-CET preparation. And during this time, I started with the pharma videos. And as you know, pharma is full of facts, details, drugs, mechanisms, and everything. But the problem was that in a video, let's say it was, I think the first video was 2.5 hours long. The first video, I recall in the first 20 minutes, the teacher was saying around 80 new words. I didn't know what it meant. And after 20 minutes, I just zoned out and so I used to see the video. Nothing was going inside my brain. At that point, I thought, no, this is not working. How the fuck I am going to survive the rest of the year if it goes like this? Then I went to my senior and to ask him what I can do. He said, no, don't worry because this is all new. You will get adjusted with time and you will do well in the end of the year. And by saying that I will do well, he meant that at the end I will ultimately stop trying to remember everything and I will only do the PYQs. But I didn't want to go in that route. But the constant information dump that was going inside my head was overwhelming me day by day. And as you know, second year is very information dense. At that time, I realized I have to do something about it. Then I delved into the learning science, how our brain learns, how our memory works, and why we keep forgetting things. And then I discovered this technique that I'm going to tell you in this video, and I will also do a live demonstration. And it changed everything for me. So the reason I told you this story is very aptly because of my first point, which is why you forget everything. You see, that our memory is a very interesting thing. Before I knew all of this learning science, I used to think that our memory is like a storage box. Let's say you remember a fact. Let's say you remember that paracetamol. Paracetamol is a very common drug that we have, and it is given in many conditions. And as you know, after MBBS, we will be called paracetamol doctors. Now, I used to think like this, as you can see in this picture, that after we remember the video, our brain stories like in a bank vault. And after in the exams, the storage gets opened and we can write it and recall it. But this is a totally wrong concept. This is not how our memory works at all. The thing is, our brain is a forgetful machine. We forget 99% of the things we see. It is because of an evolutionary mechanism so that we can survive, because remembering things is a very calorie intensive, and the things we do not help us to survive, we do not remember. Now, how it actually works? You see this concept. You see all of these lines I have drawn and all of these circles I have drawn. The thing is, there is no memory vault actually. There is nothing known as any memory vault. What usually happens is like this. These are nodes of information that we have in our brain. Let's say this is paracetamol. Let's say this is that is relieves our fever. That is also there. It has a poor anti-inflammatory property. These are all information. Now, whenever we want to recall a fact, it's like something. Have you heard about the Schrodinger's concept? In physics, there is known as Schrodinger's cat. Like we have something here, and the next moment we do not have it. Once we look, it is there. Once we do not look, it is not there. So when we need to remember something, our brain reconstructs the same thing. The paracetamol is a fever reducing agent. At the same time, from all of these nodes of information, it pulls it and it gives us the output. Now, the more strong the connection is between the nodes of this, nodes between the particular information groups, these lines that I've shown here, the stronger is our memory. Now, listen to this part very carefully. Why we remember some things very well and why we can't remember some things very well. Listen to this. The thing is, the reason you keep forgetting things is that because there are many concepts which are isolated and it is not connected with any other information. The reason to make it memorable, it has to follow these three things. It has to be emotional, or it can be personal, or it needs to induce curiosity in our mind. These are the three anchors that makes these connections. If a memory or an information doesn't hit any one of these bucket, it will be forgotten very quickly. Now, I will explain the paracetamol example here again. Now, why we remember paracetamol? Paracetamol is a personal, because from your childhood you have taken paracetamol whenever you had a fever. Other than that, paracetamol is also very emotional, because from your childhood you have seen your parents, everyone take it, and when you are down bad with fever, after taking it you got relieved. And also it is curiosity inducing. After you came into medical college, at least what I felt, that how paracetamol works, this common drugs. So it is the thing that hits all of this. That's why even you, let's say you forget everything the next day, you do not even remember what you read in first year, final year, you will still remember paracetamol, because the connection keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And after you pass out as a physician, you will prescribe paracetamol daily, and this will get keep stronger. Now let's say there is another fact. There is a drug called cisplatin, as you know. There is also a drug called idarucizumab. Now you know what I'm going to share here. How many of you who are watching this video knows what idarucizumab or cisplatin is? Or even if you have read it, how many of you remember this idarucizumab? Very few, I guess. The reason is not because your brain is dumb or you can't remember anything. The reason is it has no connections. This is an isolated point. It is not helping you emotionally, personally, or it is not inducing curiosity. It's just a simple fact you wrote, memorized for your exam, and then forgotten the next day. Now, since this is so isolated, our brain thinks the jharu, that this is not going to work for us. This is not important. He is not going to survive with this information. Let's clean it up, and you keep forgetting. And in second year, as I began the second year, there was this information diarrhea. There is dumping of information, 200 words, 300 words, which has no connection with any of my prior knowledge. Now I have a knowledge because I have completed the second year. But during that time, oh, what is this drug? What is this cisplatin? What is this idarucizumab? And I kept forgetting. It is not that you are dumb or you are not intelligent. It is a skill issue. Now I will come to my second point, which is the revolutionary technique that changed everything for me. Now, how can we overcome this problem? This is very important. Since medicine is very dense and we have so many topics, we have to create a scaffold, a wide net, as you can call. So make sure the information first has a foundation to go. And then after the foundation has been built, we can slot and make the Empire State Building. And the reason you keep forgetting things is because you just start with the video, or you just start with the book chapter. It will not work that way. It is too difficult, too fast for your brain to process all of this information. So how can we get rid of this problem? Look at this picture. We'll use what is called as a priming technique. And many of you may have heard of this technique, but the way you are doing it or have heard it is totally wrong. What priming essentially is casting a wide net for all of the main studying that you are going to do. So how is it actually? If you are going to see a Marrow video, before doing the Marrow video, you have to read about the chapter main concept. What is there? No need to go into the details. What is mainly there in the chapter has a whole overview. Like what if there is a movie, let's say, and if the movie is very complicated. Like I remember a few years ago, I watched the dark Netflix show, and I didn't have what the hell was going with the show. And I saw a YouTube video of what the major events were in the Netflix series, and only then I could make sense of it. It's like seeing a movie you have never read the synopsis before. Maybe if it is a simple movie you can understand, but if it is a complicated movie you will not understand anything. It's like reading the synopsis of what the movie is before actually seeing the movie. So we need to do that. In the first phase, we need to build this big net of first of the chapter to the end of the chapter. How will it actually do? I will tell you a little bit later. And this within this scaffold, every single overview of the chapter is to be there. Like what is the heading, subheadings, what the main concept are. No need to put so much of your time in stress in your brain. And what is doing actually, this is building curiosity in your brain. I told you three things is required. Even if one of the three is there, you will remember it. It needs to be emotional, personal, or it should build curiosity. And by this, we are building curiosity in our brain about the concept that are going to come later. Let me give you a practical example. Now, for a long time, I wanted to read about glaucoma. And in glaucoma, we have read in second year in pharmacology about everything. But there was a particular topic I didn't really understand, like the how the meshwork works, trabecular meshwork. So what I did was I read the whole of the chapter and got an overview. And but I was very curious about the trabecular meshwork. And when I saw the main video, it got fit into my main like a slot. I have seen that video I think 1.5 months ago, and I still remember every single detail. And what the hell is wrong with and what the hell is wrong with our MBBS? Why we keep promoting this consume culture? You keep showing off to other people. Oh, I've seen 80 videos. I've seen 100 videos. But what is the hell is the output? Output is zero. You keep studying the video, you forget the next day. You keep seeing the video, forget the next day. And at the end of the day, you have no concept. You have no memory. So why don't you change? Don't you think it is better to do two videos and know everything about the topic, which will take you far and save you hundreds of hours of revision? Instead of the consuming. No, I have to see 5 videos a day. Change this behavior. Now, I will show you the live demonstration how I do this technique. And I have chosen a topic which I've never done before. The thing is, this topic I have taken from surgery. This is the topic name is adrenal glands and neuroendocrine tumors. This is a surgery topic, and I've never done surgery before. I have no idea of this topic, so this will be a very learning experience. And while I go through this live demonstration, this is the priming technique which I usually do before I saw the video, before I see the video, and I will speak out my thoughts out loud. Very carefully listen to it. You will pick up many things. Okay. So this is the adrenal glands and neuroendocrine tumors chapter. Okay. And this is in surgery. I think this video is 50 minutes long of Marrow by Dr. Rohan Khandelwal sir. Okay. So first that I do is I read the main headings. What is there in the chapter? So what I see, this is okay. The adrenal glands and neuroendocrine tumors. What I know, neuroendocrine tumors. I have some idea because I have studied in pathology. First one is adrenal incidentaloma. Okay, this one is a big subheading. Okay, Then there is pheochromocytoma. This is the second subheading. You see, I'm scanning through the videos. I'm scanning through the notes of the main subheadings. I'm not going into details right now. Okay. So there is neuroblastoma as well. And other than that, there is the last part, the carcinoid tumors and cortical carcinoma. Okay. And it looks like these are all the subheadings. So the main subheadings are adrenal incidentaloma, pheochromocytoma, there is the carcinoid tumors, and also the main neuroblastoma. Okay. So it looks like these are the main headings of this chapter. Okay. Now let me see. Now from this point on, I pick a particular heading. It doesn't have to be in any order. Like for example, pheochromocytoma. I've read a lot about it in second year in pharmacology. Let's see what is there in pheochromocytoma. Okay, pheochromocytoma. If you don't know what is the term, read about it. If you have no idea about it, since I know what is pheochromocytoma, I would skip this part. So it is a tumor of the adrenal medulla. Okay. So what I know about this adrenal medulla means it will increase in non-epinephrine and epinephrine. Okay. So and usually what I do, I don't read any kind of charts and everything in the first this priming technique. It is not at all necessary. You are trying to get an overview of the chapter. Okay. Most common site. This is important, I think. Sympathetic chain, organ of Zucker-Candle. Okay, okay. Most common site, they are saying that organ of Zucker-Candle. I will remember that. I will not do the table right now. Okay, What are the main headings? It looks like the main headings in this topic is histopathology. Then there is the clinical features, there is the investigations, and there is the management. Okay, let me read a little bit about it. Histopathology. Okay, histopathology. I see the picture. Okay, this is looking a bit gross. Is we have a necrosis, we have the salt and pepper nuclei. I have read this in pathology, and we have the immunohistochemistry, which is for the neuroendocrine tumors and pheochromocytoma. There is also malignant. No, this is I will not read right now. Clinical features. Clinical features, headache is the most common. Okay, and in investigation there is something known as the light bulb Swiss cheese. Okay, management. Let me go to management. Acha, okay, this I have read in pharmacology. Phenoxybenzamine. This is an alpha blocker. Then we have to add beta blocker, and this concept I know. And how is management? We have to do a surgery. Surgery. Okay. If it is malignant, it is chemotherapy, adrenal vein clipped, prevention, administrating, then hypotension. Okay, okay. Pheochromocytoma. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So the major overview I got from this topic is that it is a tumor of the adrenal medulla, and the basic thing is there is main organ of Zucker-Candle. There is that, and other than that, there is a salt and pepper nuclei, histopathology, and in the investigation there is a light bulb and cheese Swiss cheese appearance, and since it is a non-epinephrine and epinephrine increases, we have to also manage it by giving alpha blockers and beta blockers, and then we have to do the surgery, which can be laparoscopic or some open surgery. This is what I got. Okay, this is starting to make sense in my head. Now let's read about the this chart. Let's see. Though I don't read charts, but we can simplify it a lot. Okay, so it is saying the syndrome associated with familial is MEN2 syndrome. I've heard about it in pathology. MEN2 is due to the red gene mutation, MEN syndrome. Okay, so lots of details are there. We are not going to go into the details, but it looks like there is the MEN syndrome, MEN2A, MEN2B, NF1, von Hippel-Lindau, familial paraganglioma. Oh, all in all, there are around 6, I think. Yes. So red gene, I know. Okay, pheochromocytoma. Okay, okay. So this is easy. The pattern is men syndrome, men 2A, men 2B. There is neurofibromatosis, NF1, and there is also von Hippel-Lindau syndrome. Question for you: do you know von Hippel-Lindau syndrome is associated with what other things that you should know? That von Hippel-Lindau syndrome, and there is familial ganglioma 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and all of them are associated with pheochromocytoma. Okay, and also in malignant there is something known as the Ki67 proliferation marker. Okay, this is I've read in also Hodgkin's lymphoma. So okay, I'm done. Headache is the most common symptom. I'm done with this. Done with this part topic. Only the main common points I know: pheochromocytoma, tumor of adrenal medulla. There is Mentua syndrome. Men syndrome. Most common site is parasympathetic organ of Zucker-Kandel. There is although I know the syndromes, most common symptom is the headache. Other than that, the management you can do alpha blocker, then beta blocker. Other than that, we can do surgery, laparoscopic. And in the gross, there is a necrosis. And in salt and pepper, which can do immunohistochemistry. I have a basic idea. Then I can, and also in investigation, we can also do the light bulb, on Swiss cheese appearance. Okay, so pheochromocytoma is done. So let's do this neuroblastoma. And another thing I want to point out, there is no need to follow the order. If there is a particular subtopic in this you find very interesting, read that first. Because it is all about building curiosity in your mind. Because when you see the videos, it will slot right in and you will remember it for a long time. Now, what is neuroblastoma? Neuroblastoma, okay. How I remember something about neuroblastoma. No, I think I have not. In pathology, yes, neuroblastoma in pathology I've read. Wills tumor I know. Okay, there is a lot of the information here. Okay, this picture is interesting. There is blueberry muffin lesions. There is raccoon eyes. Okay, swollen eyes and bruising. This okay. Blueberry muffin, raccoon eyes. Okay. Okay. What is the histopathology? Histopathology is small round blue cells. Oh, okay. This is a pathology integration where another. I know the Ewing sarcoma because of second year. Okay. I will not read it again. I will not read it here. Management, chemotherapy, surgery. Is any of this difficult to remember? The management, obviously, this is a malignant condition. So, obviously, we will do the chemotherapy. And if it is spread anywhere, we will do aggressive management surgery. We have to do to cut it out. So, from this, I will not remember much. I will remember that this is the most common abdominal malignancy, and we see something like blueberry muffin recognized, and there is small round blue cells. And other than that, we have to do chemotherapy. Easy. Now let's come to this one. This looks like a carcinoid tumor. I know. Carcinoid tumor I have read in pathology. But even if I didn't know, I would read this first line. Arise from the neuroendocrine cells. Okay. Neuroendocrine cells. Neuroendocrine cells. Pheochromocytoma. There is a correlation between that. Okay. So they are saying that the most common is the appendix. I will not remember this detail. In the appendix, it is the most common. And they are divided into side, foregut, midgut, hindgut. And let's say I will not remember any of it. I will remember that is appendix is the most common for right now. Clinical features: cutaneous flushing, diarrhea because I know diarrhea, serotonin syndrome, bronchospasm most common. I will not remember so much detail. I know that there is flushing and there is also diarrhea. And other than that, we also have to remember that if it comes into the tricuspid valve can be affected. Investigation: urine 5 hydroxy indole acetic acid, serotonin, blood chromogranin A. Now, obviously, malignancy you have to do the PET scan. PET scan you have to do something known as the dotate PET scan. I have not heard anything about it. Also, high Ki67. Ki67 also was there where it was there in pheochromo. It was in pheochromocytoma, right? Yes, it was there in pheochromocytoma. So you have to keep correlating it also. And let's see. To localized lesion, we see this is not important. Malignancy, high dotted PET scan, surgery, chemotherapy. This is also not that much complicated because this is kind of expected here. Now let's see how we do the management. Now, if you are dumb, what we will actually do, we will try to remember every single detail here, which is not required at this point of time. Let's simplify this table. Okay, so it is localized, regional, and distant. Okay, I do not know what is the meaning of radical resection. I do not know what is radical, palliative, no resection. Okay, so they're saying that if it is localized and regional in the area, we can do is resection of the primary node and the nodes along the associated area. However, if it has spread to other places, we have to resect the distant node as well. Is any of this hard to remember? Liver metastasis. Yes, obviously we have to remove the nodes in the sister places, and if it is very much fucked up, then we cannot do anything. We have to no resection can be there, and the patient will ultimately die. Microscopic freedom. I do not know what is R naught to avoid the obstructive complications. Okay, yes, this is very simple to remember. If it is localized, regional, remove the nodes from the regional and localized place to for microscopic freedom. And if is the distance places, do the resection of that place also because we do not want complication. If it is has gone to very fucked up stage, you do not do anything. There is also treatment. I will not remember. This is not that important. I will also not remember it in the first place, but we can see that something gastric carcinoids, okay. Something they are saying about gastric carcinoid. There is something histological classification. Okay. So this is benign. First two, next two are malignant. So first two are benign, next two is malignant, third one is low malignant, fourth one is totally malignant. Okay, so this is differentiated high grade malignant. Okay. Adrenocortical carcinoma, bimodal, non-functional, lung, Cushing. Okay, I will remember this one. This is adrenocortical carcinoma. I will remember the Cushing syndrome. This is the most common presentation investigation. Okay, so what do you learn? What do we learn? Oh, I didn't do this one. Adrenal incidentaloma, non-functional tumor, most common evaluation. Metastasis management. I think this is not that much important, but okay, we'll remember this part. So what do we learn? We learned about this how to read the subheadings. Like there is adrenal incidentaloma, there is also the pheochromocytoma, there is the carcinoid syndrome, and there is the neuroblastoma. Neuroblastoma is malignant pheochromocytoma, and I would say that carcinoid tumors are very similar because both of them we use the immunohistochemistry, and particularly we can manage the neuroendocrine tumors of pheochromocytoma and everything. Neuroblastoma is the most common abdominal malignancy where we have blue muffin, and there is also raccoon eyes and everything. So now I am ready to actually do the chapter. I have an entire idea of the whole chapter. I know what I can expect. Now, if I see the video, it will slot in my brain like a puzzle piece. And the retention is going to go through sky high. Remember from now on, you need to think like an athlete. Just studying is not enough. You are not going to beat most people by doing it. You keep forgetting things. An ounce of pre-study will save you hours and hours of in the revision and everything. You may have this doubt. I also had this doubt also that if I spend so much time on 20 minutes, 25 minutes, do I recommend do not spend more than 20-25 minutes in this step? Then how will I study? I have to do the main video after that, then the Q bank after that. The thing is, if you do this one simple thing, you will have so much retention, you will not need to revise so much. After I read this topic, I may not even need to revise it for 2, 3, 5, 6 months, and you keep forgetting everything the next day, then how is it benefiting you? Give this 20 minutes for every single topic before it, and you will retain so much and have so much confidence about the topic. If some teacher asks you about the next day, you can answer it then and there. If after 1 month, then and there. After 6 months, then and there. And even if you keep forget after 8 months, after just looking at it one time, you will remember. I give you the example, right? Idarukizumab. You will not remember it. But I remember it. That it was something to do with poisoning in the blood chapter. It was something with antidote. Now I forgot what is the antidote for it. But if I keep thinking, I may remember. I think it was for dabigatran. But I remember. But you will not remember it if you keep going like this. So I talked a lot about the technique that got me here. Even after implementing this technique, if you watch Marrow videos, Marrow and preparator videos for NEET, PG and INICT preparation, it will be a waste of time for you if you do not do this one thing. Watch this video to know that. Keep grinding, and I will see you in the next one.